Issue with the internet, I would say, you know, just a lot of stupid pressures, superficial pressures that I put on people. And one of the big examples I'm going to talk about here is the pressure on age. Not age, that was the last video, I just recorded last video. The pressure on heights. You always see on the internet just these dumb women saying, oh, if this person's X height, I don't want to date him. This person's 5'2", oh, he's a bum. If this person's 5'3", he's a bum. If this person's 5'6", he's a bum. Guys, when you get out to the real world, you'll truly start to realize how much that doesn't matter. And how stupid it really is. Why are we being valued on something based on something we can't control? It reminds me back during the racism times. Not to say I was alive, but in terms of history lessons, similar scenarios. And we got over that. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's still parts of the world who do that still do those unfortunate things. To which, that's of every country. But height is another one, and we can't control our height. It's given based on the genetics of our parents. Now I'm sure on the come up to growing up, when you're still in the process of aging your body physically and mentally, there are tactics that you can use to prepare yourself forward to reach your maximum height. But in general, nah man, it's not like that. So these flies are everywhere, I might have to leave. It's not like that, it doesn't work like that, It's different. So when you get to the real world, you start to realize, and I believe it's a high school mentality, this notion that you need to be a certain height. And I'm not even just talking about dating, I'm just talking about to be successful in life in general. It's so stupid. It's what you can accumulate with your brain nowadays. It's a lot less brawn. I'm not telling you, I'm not disregarding physical labor type jobs. I'm sure that's still a good thing, but there are many other things to which if you just use your brain, you can become pretty successful at. Gain a following from it, gain an audience, and best thing, gain a lot of money to live the life that you want. And icing on the cake, you inspire people. That's all from brains, rather than brawn. Someone's screaming. Brains rather than brawn. It's a lot different now. And let's use me for example. So I'm 5'9". I stand at a height of 176 centimeters. And for the most part, I'm just gonna speak and show you shit. For the most part with me, I went through this period when I was 14 years old, when I was constantly obsessed with, my height. The way I looked, I might as well walk. I'm getting bored of being in this one spot. Kids are too loud anyway. I was just being bored. Bored of, boredom from being the same height. Because I was 5'9" at that 14. When I was 13, I was about 5'5" and a half. And I went through this phase where I was just overly obsessed with my height, physical appearance. So every single day before school, I'd always measure my height. I'd always, I'd get my measuring tape every morning. And it sort of became a height addiction. Something I was doing every single time now. And it was messing up my mental health. Destroying my mental health. But I was just obsessed with being 6 foot because I was one of those people that fell into the trap of the internet. Oh, you need to be a certain height to not only be considered attractive to women, but successful in life. And then I learned that's subjective too. I like this spot, let's stay here. No one says so. I like empty spots. That's subjective too. Subjective. There's no right or height, or obviously everyone has their own preferences, but to be successful, you can be successful in any height. I'm sure we can make many people who are probably like 3'6" who have probably made a name for themselves, or 6'11" who've made the name for themselves. And I'm sure there are many billionaires who are average height, like myself also, 5'9", 176 centimeters, who have also made a name for themselves. So we need to stop falling into this trap and putting ourselves down because we are of a certain height. it's like you're not gonna shame yourself for having a dark skin color, aren't you? No. You're not gonna shame yourself for being white. No. You shouldn't shame yourself for being mixed race either. No. You shouldn't shame yourself for being light skinned. No. You can't control it. And it's not even a sin to be the skin color you're born in. And it never was a sin, but our generation, not our generation, but the past generation, wanted to make, few generations before that, they wanted to make it seem like a sin. And they did for a period of time, hence the flipping racism era. Shout out to Martin Luther King for stopping it, primarily. We stopped it drastically, I'd say that much. And a few bastards want to inherit it. And it's still lurking in this day. And it probably always will, because evil always will be in this world, which is very sad, but hey, we move, I guess. But in terms of height, hey, you can become something great with height. From a fitness standpoint, all my short kings out there, let me make you feel a lot better about yourself. If you get into shape, you do the same training plan with someone who's about 6'2". Let's say you're about 5'5", right? You do the same training plan as them. Well, you're gonna fill out muscles more, you're gonna stand out more, and you're gonna appear to look bigger, even though you may weigh less, because you have a less shorter frame. You have a less longer frame, so you're more on the stocky side. So all your workouts are gonna be accentuated more, and that's the benefit of being short. I remember there was this one time last year in January, I was standing next to this tall 6'7" guy. He was nearly 6 feet. No, I think it's 6'5". It's close to 6'6". But I was stood next to him, and we both flexed our biceps, and we were both in front of girls doing this, by the way. And the girls did a reaction, and I thought the reaction would be to the tall guy, but the reaction was to me. I was like 80 kilograms at the time. The 6'7" guy was at 90 kilograms. Now, as you know, for a 6'7" guy, 90 kilograms is not heavy, believe it or not. But 80 kilograms for a 5'9" guy, pretty out of the norm. Well, not out of the norm, but it's rare. Hard to do. It's hard to do. You know, it can be hard to do. It's uncommon because I'd say most people, and like, this is taken into account, most people don't work out. You're probably gonna sit in the range of, let's say, 60, 70 kilograms. So, and I was training as well. I had 4 years at the time, but this was last year. So that only speaks even more volumes. And I got a reaction. And I'm average height. And you know, we're average at one thing, but we don't need to be average at everything. So with that being said, let's maximize what we're capable of. Hey, and I don't even this generation is it's all brains over brawn nowadays. It's not like it was in the past. It's digital age. Now, I'm not telling you to not build a strong body, because I know I certainly have it. But I will tell you, I'm going to give you a bit of both when I walk around. I'm just going to walk to random places and shit. I will tell you that, you know, find things that make you interested. Study something in history, maybe the past. All that good shit, man. Study something. Maybe learn a language or two. Become proficient at that. I know you're interested. Hey, even if you're average looking, or if you're average height, well, your brain, you know, it's gonna reflect your personality too. And now you become an interesting, compelling person to speak to. And now all of a sudden your height doesn't matter, because it really doesn't matter. Everyone's in this high school mindset. You still have this high school mindset that the media's, you know, stood upon you. And now you believe you just need to be a certain height. You know? And yes, don't get me wrong, everyone has their preferences. Everyone's got their preferences, what they like and dislike, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the damage being that in general everybody thinks you need to be a certain height to be accepted by society. Which is so dumb, because we can't control that. I once had an obsession when I was 14. I wanted to be 6 foot, because everyone was talking about being 6 foot. It was like the talk of the town nowadays. I could never be 6 foot. I tried. I accepted a while back, like 3 years ago, I'd never be 6 foot, and that's fine. Because I come to terms to love my height. I never felt insecure about my height. 5'9" is a good height. Like, you're not too tall, you're not too short. You know, you're taller than most women. And when you're with tall women, it still doesn't feel awkward, because you're just like sweet spot height. It's called average for a reason. And if you're below 5'9", who cares? I have a friend who's 5'4". One of my closest friends. He is a killer. That he is a savage bastard, man. He's so badass. That why I say it like that in an American accent. He's so badass. He gets shit done, man. He's a savage, and he's one of the most strongest mentally people he's one of the most strongest people I know mentally. And he's 5'4". He doesn't give a fuck if he's 5'4". He still beat up the average man. So height don't matter, man. Don't let that shit get to you. It's just height. Can't control it. And it's not until you're out in the real world you really start to realize what I'm saying is true. It really starts to cement itself. It really starts to kick in. When you're out in the real world, no one gives a fuck about your height. I'm telling you. Well, you might get a few double takes of a super tool, but life goes on. We all got our own shit. We all got our own shit to go through, or our own shit to struggle with. So no one's gonna pay that much attention to you. Just make yourself useful, make yourself great. I thought that was someone lynched, but it's not. It's just a lamplight in a weird spot. This area's getting boring. I'm gonna keep moving. I don't mean shit. It don't. How many great people do you know on the internet for average height? Jeff Bezos, I looked at him on the internet. Looks relatively short. More so stocky guy. Checked him out on the internet. Now I haven't checked his height. But judging from his height, you can say he looks anywhere from about 5'8", 5'10". And that nigga made Amazon. He made Amazon. You know? So you don't need to be super tall to become a success. I believe Mark Zuckerberg's 5'10", made Facebook. Everyone uses Facebook now. Multi-billion-dollar company. You can become something great, man. And I need to walk by example now because I'm average height. And I never let that get, I did let it get to me in the past. But I'm not like that anymore. But most people, they still let the pressures get to them. So I figured I'd step on camera. Hopefully you can enjoy nature with me, enjoy the aesthetics. To let you know, hey, it don't mean shit. Damn, I promise you it don't mean shit, man. What's around the real world, man? Real life hits you, that shit don't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm telling you it don't matter. I promise you it doesn't matter. Life goes on. When you're in the real world, man, it's how's your brain? How can you use your brain to get to the next level? And that's with any area of life. And you know, I know earlier in this video I excluded that with fitness, but no, let's link that together also, because to even get in shape, it needs to say something about your mentality and the way you think. How your mind's at. Where's your brain at right now? What's your mentality? You have the ability to endure something for a long period of time, you're set. You're gonna do something great then. It already says enough about your mind. And the best thing is anyone can do this. Anyone can do that. The physical aspect. Just need to be in shape. No, you just need to have the mindset. You don't even need to be tall or anything. I'm average height. Maybe 5'10" with these shoes on, but without I'm down near 5'9.5". Literally, if you took away a centimeter of my height, I'd be 5'8". It wouldn't bother me though. Make the best out of yourself. You can become a great speaker as well. You can become a great speaker. And you don't need to be tall for that. So all these stupid statistics you see on the internet of, oh, if you're taller, you're going to become, you're more likely to become successful. Shut the fuck up. It's about your brain. How about we get two brains, metaphorically? And if you have two brains there, then you can talk about, yeah, okay, perhaps you can become successful there. And guys, I'm speaking as a testament. I've attracted many women in the past, and I'm not even that good looking. It's a big world. You should even be surprised if you start pulling as well. Anyone can do it. I mean, there's 8 billion people. You're telling me, let's assume 4 billion of those are women. You're telling me 4 billion aren't going to want you? That's bullshit. It's a complete bullshit. Cars come in. It's such a bullshit. Don't believe those vanity metrics. Sometimes the best metric is really just going out yourself and experiencing it for yourself. What works out for you? What works out for you? I'm gonna start walking to areas I've never been to before now. What works for you? What works for you? I don't mean shit. Like, honestly, God could plausibly take 4 inches off my height. So let's say I end up becoming 5'5", not walking the streets. No one's gonna care. I'd still probably be in shape. I'd just be a man. And I'm already funny already, so yeah, it'd probably be more funny if I was shorter. Who knows? Just make the best of what you're given. Make the best of what you're given, man. Because I'm telling you, once you're done with high school, once you're done with college, you'd be surprised how no one cares about your physical height. You're just too in your head, and you let the social pressures get to you, which primarily stems from the internet, and no one really says that in real life. So superficial. It's not a real thing, man. Leave that bullshit to the internet and live in real life for a bit. Changes your mind, changes the way you think, and it's for the better, because real life is how we were always meant to live. It sounds like I just cracked the code. No, I didn't crack the code. It was always like this, but we forgot, so someone had to remind you, you know? Yeah, man. That's my stop for today. Yeah, it don't matter. You can become someone great. You don't need to be 6'5" to get 100k subs. I can do this shit at 5'9". You know, I don't need to. I can be 5'9", still become a multi-millionaire. I can become 5'9", still become one of the best speakers in the world. Build a massive following on YouTube still. I can be 5'9" and still attract a lot of women. I can be 5'9" and still know 5 languages. I can be 5'9" and still get in the best shape. I know I said that already. You can do great things, man. And inspiring a lot. But that's really all what matters in the end. Inspiring people. So I'm not looking at you guys, I'm just saying, I like enjoying nature as well. So you're looking at the background too. You don't even need to look at my face when I'm recording this one. You can look at the background and just heed to my words, you know. Do the best you can do with what you're given, man.